What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. We got another video for you today. We're going to do a 3-month 2,700 mile update on the Tacoma. We're going to talk about some damage that it's got. We're going to talk about what I think about it. And anyway, before we get into the video, make sure you like, subscribe. We got over 1,000 subs. I mentioned that in my last Tacoma video. Pretty sweet. Thanks for all the support. I've been doing a lot of like other stuff, not so much like pumpkin content, but like car reviews and stuff, which is what I started with originally 3 years ago. So I've been doing a little bit more of that, but we're back to the Tacoma. We're going to talk about that. Let's get into it. So there it is. We're out here in southern Utah. Sun's going down. We're out here at the lake. Pretty sweet. Nice and pretty. Got the taco cleaned up today. Second bath ever. Really bad at giving this thing baths. It's a problem, but it's all cleaned up, looking great. This Solar Octane is popping. Cleaned up the inside a little bit. It's still a little dirty. I live on a dirt road, so it is what it is. So as you can see there, we got about 2,715 miles on this thing. Haven't been daily in it. I drove it every day for a minute. It kind of has been sitting. I drive like 50 miles a day, but anyway, we got about 2,700 miles on it. I've had it about 3 months, so I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts and talk about how it's been. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the powertrain. Obviously, that's a big topic of discussion with these. The turbo 4-cylinder, 8-speed automatic, hasn't blown up yet, so there's that. It still runs great. Hasn't made any weird noises or hasn't missed a beat or anything. Makes plenty of power. Still doing really good there. I took it to Las Vegas. Can throw some clips in here. I did a little bit of gas mileage filming on my way down there. It was awesome. It was kind of my first trip on the freeway, and it was awesome. I was actually really surprised with the power delivery. I could be doing 70 and need to pass somebody. I'd push the gas a little bit, and it was ripping. It was making all the torque and getting with it. I also left it in eco mode, which I typically don't do. Eco mode kind of drives me crazy because it cuts the power a lot, and it actually got decent fuel mileage. The other thing about the drive to Vegas that I thought was interesting was I've mentioned a whole bunch of times that the Bilstein shocks are super stiff and that I didn't love them and I wanted to replace them. As I've driven it more, I've done a little bit of off-roading with it, and they seem to be loosening up a little bit, which is going to be one of my things that I wanted to talk about later in the video. But on the drive to Vegas, it was really smooth, and it would hit the big bumps in the freeway, not like bumps, but like, you know, the waves that give you the butterflies when you're driving down the road. And it would get to the other side and kind of like compress. It was super floaty. It was actually super comfortable all the way to Vegas. And well, for reference, that's about 150, 60 miles from where I live. So I was actually really comfortable. Made it all the way there. No issues, no complaints. So I really liked that, and it also got decent fuel mileage. I can put some clips in here. I think it was doing 23 miles per gallon when I got there, and then when I got back, I don't remember if I filmed that or not. If I did, I'll throw the clip in here. I think it was doing like 21-ish after the whole trip, driving down, driving around in Vegas for 3 days, and then driving back. So that's like highway and city. It was averaging like 21, I think, by the time I got back. So it actually did better than my gas mileage video that I put out. I think I was getting like 18-ish in that video, and I was averaging 23. After adding the city in, I was doing like 21 miles per gallon, which is I feel like acceptable. That's pretty decent fuel mileage with the added power that the 4-cylinder gives you. I was pretty happy with that. I'm going to turn this on real quick, and I'll have to turn it right back off because then it connects to my Bluetooth and I lose my audio. But I'll show you what I'm getting for gas mileage. Right there, that's 20.5. So getting 20.5 miles per gallon. That's after my trip to Vegas, back, drove to work, drove back. For those of you that didn't watch my towing video or my gas mileage video, it's about a 2,000 foot difference in elevation between where I work and where I live. So I go up the hill, back down the hill. So that kind of messes my gas mileage. And right now, the 20.5, I'm up the hill. So it's showing worse than it should be, or than it would be if I was in town. So anyway, it's showing 20.5, which again, I feel like is decent. I was getting 20 to 21 in my V6 2022 Tacoma. So with the increase in power and the 4-cylinder, I'm happy with that. That's decent gas mileage. And that brings me to my next point, which is the Bilstein shocks. We'll shove you in here real quick. Bilstein shocks right there. It's getting kind of dark. Got the remote, or the piggybacks on there. So I've mentioned a whole bunch of times that they're not my favorite, and they're really stiff, and I wanted to replace them. I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video. They do feel like they've loosened up, so they feel much floatier. They don't feel as stiff on the big bumps. I have actually talked to some people that have had like 3rd gen off-roads, and they did say that they tend to break in over time. So I do feel like they are breaking in, which also with the gas mileage thing, I think the motor is breaking in a little bit as well and getting better fuel mileage. So things are getting better, which I would rather have than have them start out good and fade and get worse. So I am happy with those two things. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the interior. There's not really any rattles. There's not any creaks or anything at this point. In my 22 3rd gen ownership, I had a rattle like right here, and I had a rattle right here, and I would end up pushing this on my dirt road so that it wouldn't rattle because it drove me freaking crazy. So I have no rattles on the interior yet, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty happy with that. A lot of people talk about this interior being plasticky and cheap. I don't feel that way. It doesn't feel any more plasticky or any cheaper than my 22. I felt like that interior was not better than this. A lot of people talk about this too. This is what they all do. That doesn't rattle on my dirt road, and my dirt road is pretty washboarded. It's not a smooth road. So I don't know why Toyota designed it like that, but they did. But that doesn't make any noise when you're driving, which I don't feel like anybody has talked about. They just pointed out and they're like, oh, that's cheap. I don't know why they did that, but it doesn't rattle. I also don't have any rattles in my suspension or in the truck anywhere. So no rattles, no creaks, nothing there. Overall, I've been super happy with the truck. No complaints. But something, when I made my first video of this truck, I said I bought a 24 Tacoma for research purposes. I bought it to kind of figure out the quirks and the weird things about it and the good and the bad, and I went head first and spent $55,000 on a new model that I think this is number like 8,600, so it's a pretty early production model. I wanted to see what it was good at, what it was worse at, what the weird things about it are. I honestly feel like, I said this in my driving impressions video, I feel like it's better at everything that it's supposed to do. It's as good or better than the 3rd gen. Just from a functionality point of view, obviously, the turbo 4-cylinder, we just got to get, a whole bunch of high mile trucks out there to see what the reliability is going to be. I feel like it's going to be fine. Toyota made the 2JZ. Hopefully they put some of that 2JZ magic in this 4-cylinder, but we won't know about that. There's nothing really we can do to accelerate that process. That takes time. The bad. This is the bad. So, see right here, I should have known better, and I should have wrapped this, but these are all rock chips right here. They go all the way up. That's another one. So, something that I was a little frustrated about is this truck came with the mud flaps that I didn't want to pay for because I'm cheap and I didn't want to pay the $60 freaking. on my $55,000 truck. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, I didn't want to pay the money for the mud flaps, and I had to get them because it came with them, and they're not doing their job. So those are all rock chips. I should have known better and wrapped this. I've had dualies, and I've always wrapped the leading edge. I guess I just didn't think about it because this isn't as aggressive as a dually fender, but it does stick out there for sure. These new Tacomas are much more Baja-y, and they've got super wide fenders. It's kind of hard to see in camera. There you go. You can see it sticking out there. So those fenders get pretty tore up. The other thing is, do get tore up down here. Some of this is dirt. This is not really a fair thing, but that is a rock chip. That's one of them. A lot of this is dirt. Oh no, those are rock chips. So this is that rubbery, orange peely section a lot of people talk about. That's why it's there, is to kind of reduce the rock chips. But those mud flaps suck. They don't do anything. And the bed sides are both pretty tore up. We'll go to the other side. So here's the other side. Some pretty good rock chips. And then this thing is just getting absolutely annihilated. And there's nothing really you can do about it. It's also, they put this little plastic thing on the bottom here. It does have like a little bit of a factory like clear bra type deal. You can see the line there. So all of this has that factory clear bra, but it's still getting through it. So there's a lot less here for sure, but that is the bad. So it's getting dark out here. We're gonna have to go back to the garage here, and I'm gonna throw some touch-up paint on that, throw a little time lapse in here fixing that. But that's kind of my basic, or that's my those are my thoughts of the truck after 2,700, almost 3,000 miles in 3 months. Anyway, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe. We got some more Tacoma content coming out. We're going to be doing a 24 off-road versus 23 pro video here. That's probably going to come out next Monday, so, or this Monday. So this video is probably coming out Friday, so Monday, in a couple days. Anyway, make sure you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Got both sides all done. You can see them if I zoom way in. They're gonna dry and they'll kind of flatten out, but they look better. You can't see them from as far away, so we'll let those dry out. So we learned something. Part of the buying this for experimental purposes or for research purposes. If you buy one of these, make sure you wrap that sucker. Right there. Wrap that. Put some kind of clear bra or PPF or something right there, because it's going to get torn up if you drive on a dirt road. So I learned, now you guys don't have to damage your trucks. I did it for you.